Hello, my name is Hannah Peak, and today I will be doing an assistive technology app demonstration for SPE 579 at Missouri State University. The app that I will be reviewing today is the Talking Calculator app developed by Adam Crosser. This app was featured at the Association of Special Education Administrators Queensland Incorporated Conference by Apple Australia in 2011 and is available for most handheld Apple devices including the iPod, iPad, and iPhone. It is not available for iMacs or MacBook laptops and is also not available on any devices outside of Apple products, including Google, Android, or Amazon-based products. This app does cost $1.99, but is worth every penny. Let's go ahead and jump into the app to see what it has to offer. Let's go ahead and see the app on the home screen. It is listed as Talking Calc and opens straight to the calculator when pressed. However, you're going to want to adjust some settings before letting your students use the calculator. There is a settings menu on the right side of the screen underneath the number display and to the right of the standard button. It is a small box with an arrow pointing to the right. When you open the menu, there are many different options available, including Enable Paper Log, Voice Selection, Voice Recording, Voice Over Options, Settings, and Help. Help is not really needed. We're going to focus on the first 5 settings on the menu before we begin working on our functions. The first setting we are going to adjust is the paper log. Once enabled, the paper log keeps track of any functions and numbers your student inputs into the calculator. After completing a classroom lesson or after a student completes a homework assignment, the student can email the paper log to you. To enable, you only have to press the first option once. After that, 4 different paper log options are available: View Paper Log, Email Paper Log, Clear Paper Log, and Disable Paper Log. You can view the student's work as they complete it or have the log emailed to you at the end of an assignment, day, or week of work. It can also be turned back off using the Disable Paper Log button. The paper log function can ensure that your students are understanding and are engaged in the material and can also help with data collection for goal tracking in your IEP or Section 504 plan. The second setting is voice selection. Initially, the app comes with a built-in voice. However, this voice does have an Australian accent, which can cause potential confusion in students. To get around this, you can record multiple different voices and select between them. I have already pre-recorded the entire function of the calculator and named it after myself. You can name and record an endless amount of different voices and switch between them as often as needed. The bottom of the voice selection menu gives you the option of how you want triple-digit numbers to be read. For the most clarity, make sure that the middle button, or 123, is selected. The third setting to adjust is the voice recording setting. This is the most important setting for the app. In this menu, you can record as many different voices as you would like. In the scroll menu, you can choose between your recorded voices and edit them as you see fit. Below the scroll is 4 orange buttons: Record Numbers, Record Operators, Voice Name, and Share via Bluetooth. Each button is pretty self-explanatory. The first option pulls up the recording studio for numbers. It lists numbers from 0 to heptillion and different number forms like negatives and exponents. At the top, you can start recording each number. The orange button tells you exactly what to say in quotation marks and gives you a short allotted time to record each voice spot. After each recording, it moves on to the next number, and the process repeats until the end of the list. I will record a few numbers as an example.
0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
It is the same process for the operators. You will record each function as it is listed until you finish the list. After you record all numbers and operators, you can name your voice. The one I have pre-recorded is named after me, but you can name it whatever you would like. The greatest function, however, is being allowed to share your voice recording with other devices using Bluetooth. This is great if you have multiple devices and don't want to have to record your voice on each one individually. This also ensures that the voices are consistent with one another on each device. The fourth setting you will want to adjust is the voiceover options. Ensure that your app is on the enhanced voiceover 123 and parentheses for English speakers in the United States. This is the most common terminology used in math in the United States, and it is nice that the app developer made sure to include different recording methods for different math dialects. The final setting is the setting option. This allows you to change the layout of the calculator from the simple layout to the full layout. Simple layout is for elementary levels, and the full layout is for upper, middle school, and high school levels. This is where you can also change the international format of your numbers. For the United States, you will want to pick the first format. There are also some settings on the calculator screen itself. The first is volume. You can turn on and off the voice of the calculator using the volume bar on the left of the screen under the number display. If you have your calculator in landscape, there is a volume bar as well as a talk and silent button. This is great for adjusting the volume of the calculator based on the needs of the student and also the needs for the general volume of your classroom. Next to the volume is a calculator contrast button. When in portrait mode, the button says LO for low or HI for high, and in landscape, it spells out the words low and high. In low contrast mode, the buttons are extremely colorful and are shown on a black background. In high contrast mode, all buttons are black with white text and are featured on a yellow background. High contrast mode is a great option for students with low vision, but students with sensory overload, such as students with autism, may struggle with such a bright screen. Next to the contrast button is a calculator function button labeled Standard. This button simply changes the calculator from being able to change the numbers from positive to negative. For younger elementary students, I would recommend changing the setting to the formula calculator rather than the standard calculator. For upper levels, leave the calculator at the standard setting. Now for the actual calculations. To begin, let's start with a simple addition. Let's add together 62 plus 58.
6, 2.
As you type in the numbers, you will notice that it does not say 62 right away, and rather lists them as you type them in. So 62 is said as 6, 2. If you press the display once the number is typed in, it will read the number as a whole rather than the two individual numbers.
62.
As you finish your problem, the calculator will automatically read the answer once you press the equals button.
62 plus 5, 8, 58 equals 120.
The answer to this problem is 120. You can also do more complex calculations. You will need to switch the calculator setting from simple layout to full layout to do them. Let's go ahead and do 8 times 65 minus 41 to the third power. Your calculator will read out each functional part as you type it in.
8. Multiply. Left parentheses. 6, 5, 65. Subtract. 4, 1, 41. Right parentheses. 24.
So, if you type the y to the power of x button, it states to the power of. It's amazing how each part of the calculator is able to speak and that it isn't limited to numbers.
To the power of 3 equals 110,592.
As you can see and hear, the answer to this problem is 110,592. Now, let's get into the pros and cons of this app. We're going to start off with the cons. First of all, this app is restricted to handheld iOS devices. If your school does not have access to handheld Apple devices, there will be no access to this app. This app does cost $1.99. The app is cheap, but spending small amounts here and there for apps and other devices can add up quickly. And finally, the voice, despite the recording functions, can still sound rigid. The recorded voices do not sound as fluid as the pre-recorded voice. The pros, however, outweigh the cons. Yes, the app costs money, but real talking calculators can range in price from $15 to $500 for a single calculator. Once the app is paid for once, it can be shared between devices that are shared on the same Apple account. Second, this app has been created with many different disabilities in mind and can benefit them all in different ways. Firstly is students with low vision. Students who have low vision may struggle using a typical calculator. The bright screens of Apple devices paired with the high contrast mode can help students see what they are typing into the calculator to ensure that they are computing the correct numbers. The second are students who struggle to communicate or are nonverbal, including students with autism. This calculator is able to give them a voice in the classroom or at home during math-based lessons. You can record a family member's voice or a friend's voice to the app if a student prefers having a voice of someone close to them. Finally, this app would be good for students who are English language learners. You can record different languages into the calculator so that the student can still complete the lessons and assignments. This app can also give them more practice in learning English. Despite this long video, this app is quick to set up and easy to use. I would definitely recommend getting this app and implementing it into your classroom for your students to enjoy. Thank you all for listening.